Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So you may or may not remember, but I think probably almost a year ago now, I did two videos on Georgian reproduction decanters, and I showed you some of the decanters I have. Now I think all of the ones that I have were made in the UK, and they were made roughly between 1900 and 1940 because it was a fashion. They're not fakes as such. It was a fashion. They were reproducing Georgian and Regency glass, and if you look carefully, you can tell the difference. The only problem now is that a lot of that glass is 100+ years old itself, so it's copying glass from 80 to 100 years before it, but it's actually become antiques in its own right. So since then, I've started to include all these online resources and stuff like that into my videos and everything. And when you look through some of the Scandinavian stuff, it looks like in some cases they never really stopped making stuff that looks 18th century right into the 20th century post-War II. So I thought I'd show you a bit of that because it's quite interesting. It's a bit scary in some cases. And so what I've done is I've gone through piles of them online. I haven't been too exhaustive and just picked out a few bits that I think, oh, interesting. Because I think when I've been out and about, I'm going, oh, this looks Scandinavian, looks like a Scandinavian copy. And I'll show you some of what I'm about with that and why I'm saying that. Because, if you collect the really old stuff, it's a worrying thing when you're looking at things and you're going, is it, isn't it? What is the quality of Scandinavian glass? How good was it? Does it look like it really is Georgian? Because now some of that's, now sort of like 80 years old, even though it's even newer than the older stuff. So let's clock on it and have a look at some of the stuff that I found on the internet, some of the web pages. So I'm going to start with the Bergdahler Glastechniska Museum website. Some of the resources that are there. This is a fantastic website. This is got piles of catalogues. Look at all of this. You've got companies on it. Boda, which is part of the before Costa Boda became joined. Edda, Elmerglave, Gullerscruff. Lots of ones that are pretty obscure. Johannesburg, you see a lot of their stuff around, but this is early stuff. Crystal Ball. I think that's a brief. Linshammer, you'll see some of their stuff around. Of course, Orifers is a part of theirs. Pookerbird, you'll see a load of that stuff in the UK. Remember, you don't see that so much, but this is quite an older one. Strombergshytten, one of my favourites. There's a whole look at all this. I've downloaded all this. Let me just show you quick. I collect the catalogues. This is my little database of catalogues. Not all of them are from that site. They're from a few different places, but I keep my own little bit together. But anyway, if we go back here, so I've had a little plow through here. I've not done it entirely systematically, just has started looking in a few pages and picked a few bits out just to show you the kind of things that they were making. So we'll start with this one. This is Crystal Glasbrucken, okay, 1922. So this looks a bit Regency. This handle here, though, is a bit of a giveaway. But these glasses here, I did that video on caps glasses with bladed knobs, and look at this. So within that video, I was telling you that they were made in the UK. This is from 1800 to 1855, and here they are being made 70 years later. So that's means that you do have to look at those more carefully. And that's why for some of the ones that I had, you'll see me umming and ahhing and going, I'm not so certain. Because when you see this, and I've seen them in other places as well, you go, yeah, some people were making these in the 20th century, not as copies, they just never stopped. And yeah, these look a bit 1830s or so if they were being made, and this does as well. This not so much, but anyway, you get the idea. These are definitely looking out of place. Here we go. This is Johan 4's 1930, and you've got a bunch of these ones here looking very 18th century, and then you've got these little glasses with square bases. I've seen better ones than these. I couldn't find any better. I think, is there more in here? And I think the rest of it is not. Oh look, there's a whole pile more. I knew there was more. So you've got more 18th century looking ones, and again with little square bases as well. People might be passing those off. I think that's it for them. But yeah, just for this 1 year, for 1930. Let's go to the next page. Again, this is Costa, 1926. And look, you got this lovely looking late 18th century glass here. Decanter, I should say. The glasses don't look so much. I think there are others in here. I can't remember where. I downloaded this a while ago. Was it back or forwards? Anyway, there are others in here. These glasses here, these might trick people, especially this one here on the end, which is a tumbler. I saw someone put a tumbler up with a similar checkered pattern recently. Yeah, so this checkered pattern, this is from going from the sort of like late 18th century through to the mid 18th century, but it seems like they never really stopped in Scandinavia. So let's move on and look at another page. Yeah, this here, this looks like Irish glass. This looks like Regency Irish. This is Boda 1927. Yeah, and more Regent. This is Boda 1926. You can see they never stopped, because it's just a continuation. They're just slightly different design. There's another Regency Irish looking one. There's another one, and that one. All of those. These look a bit Irish as well. You can see, and then you get the more normal kind of. This actually looks a bit Victorian-esque, but yeah. So yeah, it was those bowls specifically I was looking at, and then let's have a look at this Costa 1944. I downloaded it. Yeah, and here we go again with a checkered pattern. This one is Costa, not Costa Boda. So yeah, and this is 1944 as well. So two separate countries that companies that joined together later, still doing this checkered pattern glass. And I think there are other things in here. I can't remember where. Oh look, there you go. There's another 18th century looking glass decanter there. So the next one I'm going to look at, another really nice website, is the Mats Linder Scandinavian Design. You do have to have a hunt through this one, but there are 87 pages. But then you've got things like this. Yeah, he's got whole catalogues in here. Yeah, I've had to download these a page at a time, but I have, and I'm going to show you a few. So this is Norwegian glass, so this isn't even Swedish. And here we go. These glasses here, these are looking very. In fact, I think that's your capstan style, but I don't think it's quite right. But anyway, this kind of patterning here looks very 1800. Yeah. This is from 1955. Yeah, so we are talking post-war here, and they're still making this style of traditional glass that was around 150 years earlier, and it's just another pattern on here. Here's another one. This is Hadland. This is 1955 as well, and you've got some early 18th century looking glasses here. So yeah, it's all craziness. Hadland were fantastic at this. You've got here, you've got some really nice modern looking glass, yeah. And then you've got this. This looks like an early 18th century wine bottle here, with a little stringing on the neck and everything. Yeah, these look like they might be what you'd see from Home Guard, but this is actually the tradition that they've come from, and they've just carried on making them, whereas Home Guard kind of reinvented it a little bit. Hadland never really stopped making it in its traditional form. So yeah, these are the Gluck Glucks, or Cluck vase, they're calling it, Cluck flask. But anyway, same thing. We'll move on. Got some more Hadland. This is 1965. And you got this 18th century looking bottle here, and this one here with the string on the neck. This is even before they had stoppers from decanters. So this string, this called a string, but it's actually this little ring here. This is because they would put a cork in it and they would tie it down, and this string would be used to tie the cork tightly into place. So yeah, this little ring here on the neck is to tie a cork into place from the early 18th century. So this is copying glass that's, you know, 300 years old, but in 1965, and they just never stopped making it. Let's go last page I'm going to show you. Oh, I think there's more of this 18th century looking glasses here with a domed foot and everything. Yeah, it's, and I said I've not been exhausted in looking at these. This is just me having a little punt around. I know it's in there. Let's see what I can scroll through a few catalogues, see what I can find relatively quickly and show you in this video. If I was to do this exhaustively, I could probably go on half the night showing you bits of glass that look like they're 18th century or early 19th century and being made well into the 20th century. So there we go. This is what I'm talking about. That you do need to be careful. Stuff can look old, but there were people out there making stuff not as fakes. It's there. This is it. It's in their catalogue. You know, they're not faking, not doing it quietly on the side. They're making glass in a traditional way. So with that said, we'll wrap up this bit of the video. So there you have it. Scary Scandinavian glass that you could be buying thinking you're buying something ancient, and it's actually vintage. Yeah, some of it might be because some of the catalogues I was showing you from 1922, so could be sneaking into being antique, but a lot of it's going to be vintage. And I don't know how much it was exported to the UK, that's the thing. But it was made because it's in the catalogue, and you could buy it in Sweden, Norway, and in I'm pretty sure Home Guard was probably doing that stuff as well, I bet. At least into the early 20th century anyway. So yeah, something to worry about if you're looking for old glass. It did, when I went to Norway and I was looking through, I did a video, and this is like one of my earliest videos where I looked at the largest glass collection private glass collection in Norway. Yeah, I saw some quite surprising bits of glass there, where he was telling me it was 20th century and it looked, yeah, early 19th century. So anyway, with that said, please remember to like and subscribe. Oh, I've done this all the way wrong way around. All the references I used will be in the description below. Please remember to like and subscribe. I hope you have a good evening, and thank you for watching. Good night.